Yo, what up? What's up,
Hey,
everybody? Welcome back to Frolfcenter. I'm Austin Lytle. Today's the 30th of September.
it's almost
Adam,
October, dude.
yeah, dude, we're almost to the end of 21, which I feel like we're still part of 2020 for some reason.
It's all melded together. It's all
Yeah,
melded together.
we're like a giant fusion.
Yeah.
But anyways, nothing going on with me.
Yes.
Same old, same old. What's up with you, brother?
Oh, nothing much, man. Drinking tequila tonight. Had to get back on the horse. I was in LA last week. That's why I didn't have a show. Lower Alabama, LA, down at Gulf Shores. Got a little
Never heard.
accidental diet from some yellowfin tuna, so that was a real fun comeback to the world.
Oh,
It was a really good one. Our guest tonight was just in here, and I think he just popped out like he thought we couldn't see him, but hopefully he jumps right back in here. Yeah, big news in disc golf this week, obviously. The DGPT's taking over the Pro Tour. Oh, wait. We're going to talk about that again. Our guest is here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a legend of the sport. His career spans decades. This guy is an innovator. He's an artist. He's a world champion. He's a true disc golf original. He's one of the best putters in the entire world. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Cam Todd. How
Yo,
you
what's
doing,
up?
sir?
Hey,
what's
what's
up,
going on,
Cam?
bud?
I'll get you on the
How are
big
you?
screen, Cam.
What's that?
I'll get you on the big screen.
Okay,
How you doing, brother?
good. How are you guys?
Good, man.
Wonderful.
Good to see you.
Right on, right on.
Yo, Cam, tell us about the first round you ever played. What was it? Where were the discs? What were the discs? Where did you play?
Oh, the first round. Well,
Who brought you into it?
actually, it was I was in college, Art Institute of Atlanta, and this guy was like, "Hey, let's go throw some frisbee." I'd never really thrown frisbee before or anything, and we went out to a park, and he was like, "Yeah, so we'll start here and we'll go to that tree, and then we'll start here and we'll go to this tree." And I was like, "Man, this is really cool." Like by the end of it, I'm like, "This is cool." And he was like, "Well, they're actually, I heard they're real courses for it." And at the time, he thought they were tone poles. So he told me that there were 18 holes, a tone pole and all this, and I looked for that sport for probably 5 years, man, asking everybody in the world, you ever heard of frisbee golf, this and that? No one heard of it. 5 years later, I happened to be jamming with this guy and we're messing around. And I look in the back of the corner and he's got a stack of discs. And I'm like, dude, is that frisbee golf? He's like, no. He's like, it's disc golf. And I'm like, take me now. But the funny thing is, the guy that first introduced me in college his name was Todd Hitchings. And 5 years later, when I first found it, the guy that had the disc, his name was Todd. So it's kind of like this circle of Todds that kind of led me to it. It's a pretty crazy story, actually, because Todd Hitchens actually, I hadn't seen him for 5 years. And he wound up, his first tournament was my first tournament, which was 3 months after I started playing, 5 years after we had separated or whatever.
Oh my
Pretty
God.
crazy story, but pretty cool.
You guys weren't a tripod, but you were a tri-Todd, is what you're telling me.
Right. Right.
I'm 40, man. I can't help it anymore. I'm making these stupid fucking jokes all the time. Sorry. Take it
It's
out.
all good. The fun guys.
Yeah.
Cam, when was the last time you played, brother?
The last time I played, I'd say probably just, casually a couple months ago.
Oh yeah.
How'd that round
Uh,
go? Yeah.
yeah. Where you
Um,
at? What course?
Harmon Hills.
Okay.
Must be
You're
Yeah.
nice.
in like the Western North Carolina, Tennessee area.
Tennessee. Yep.
Nice,
Yep.
dude.
Nice, private course out there. Really sweet course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Harmon Hills is a dream.
it goes all right. It's still there. Um, age is not helping at all with like ability and recovery if I don't stay on it, but it's still there. It's
Yeah.
all a month or two away of being in shape.
Driver
Very good.
show puffer dough. I think
Yeah.
that putt will never leave you.
Right.
Right, right. Yeah. At what point in your career did you realize you could do something with it? When you're like, when you started playing, you started getting good, you start winning, or like, I can do something more with this. Like, when did that happen?
Well, um, I guess I've been playing for like 4 months or so, 3 months, something like that. And this guy approaches me at Will's Park and he's like, "What's the story, man?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He was like, So you come out of the woods or what? I was like, I don't get what you're talking about, bro. He was like, all right, dude. He was like, you're pretty good. He was like, who are you? Where you come from? It's like, I don't know, man. I just run my butt off and play 3 rounds a day. I love it so much. It's the greatest thing ever. And he's like, well, you ever heard of the PDGA? And I'm like, no. And he's like, check out this magazine. So he grabs me a magazine and he's like, you can sign up for the PDGA here, go to tournaments. There's world champions, all this cool stuff. I was like, wow, that's really cool. So I get the magazine. There's this little questionnaire form thing, and it's got all these boxes with different divisions. And I'm like, what does this mean? He was like, you just check what you want to be. I was like, so I can check professional, and I'm a professional disc golfer. He was like, well, our sport's kind of embryonic. So, yeah, but you got to cash to, like, clearly be a professional. So, anyway, I was like, man, I'm stoked. Like, that's it. I checked it, and I went to my first tournament like 2 weeks. It was about 2 weeks after that. And I signed up as pro. I was going to do my best, man. He says I'm pretty good. So, let's go. I went there, and about 9 holes left in the tournament. I said, give me that scorecard. I looked at it and I was like, man, I can't ace every hole and win. So, I knew I had a lot of work to do, but it was literally then that I knew my goal. My goal is to be one of the best in the world. I mean, just the love I had for the sport was enough to find the drive and ambition to do it and make up my mind that I was going to do it. And, I set my goal and I practiced. I gave, I think a few years down the road, I tried to go play tournaments, and 98, 99, I didn't get to play much because I was like, I'm going to do this for real. So I worked and tried to save money, and then 2000, that was it. I set up on tour full time, and just wouldn't stop until something good happened.
That's a lot of
Oh,
focus to say for 2 years, I'm going to work so I can take the next 2 years and try to like just make this happen for myself.
Who
Right.
was that individual at Wills Park?
Yeah.
But Brad Hammock.
Brad Hammock.
Mm-hmm.
I was either thinking Hammock or Eberhart, and
Oh,
Eberhart
yeah.
was more Roswell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Those are, yeah, the man, fortunately for me, there were some great players that came out of that course. If they weren't all Pums, they would have made it themselves. It
Yeah,
was
Cody, our buddy Cody Britton down here just broke the odd dog record, perfect round last night. So
nice.
yeah,
Nice. That's how it happens.
Uh-huh.
I had been playing for, I guess, the 3 or 4 months there, maybe 6 at this point, and I started getting in the leagues with them because they were like, "Come on!" And one guy tried to teach me something, and I threw a great shot. And he's like, "All right, I'm done. Not teaching you anymore. It's over." So,
Yeah, exactly.
but it didn't matter. Like, yeah, within 6 months there, I think I had finally broken the course record there.
Only 6 months it took you. That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I practiced a lot. A real lot.
You got it. Yeah. What's the so what is the current state of your disc golf career? Like what are you doing on disc golf every day, every week, every month? Where does it stand today?
Well, I was actually, in 2017, due to unfortunate incidents, I had to get off tour, and I basically got myself set, and I was ready to go back in 2020. And, with all the things happening in the world, it just didn't make sense, to try to, kind of give up this again and go just see how things were going to work out, so I really am missing it more and more every year, and I want to, but, I've definitely always worked on things, I always, take randoms, I always take people calling, I always take questions, I always try to at least put my skills out there and pass the knowledge. I take on anybody
Absolutely.
that can, and I try to train them. I try to give them tips. I do video lessons with them back and forth. I'll do anything to help.
Yeah, and
And
you're
that's
still selling DVDs and art and stuff too, right?
yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. Yeah, I got the art going. I always, paint the visuals of disc golf, try to keep it alive. Anything I can do, but like I said, it just kind of, just a total change of life came about, and I'm working on things, and I actually reconnected with Todd Hitchens about 2 months ago for the 28 years. 28 years
Oh
since
yeah.
that tournament that we hadn't seen each other. And it was just really cool, man. Just unbelievable. And this guy has introduced so many people to the sport since then. It is unbelievable. He never really became a player or anything like that, but it's amazing what he's done for the sport. And it's still
Can
his
you
passion. So we're working on something.
Yeah, can you tell the people what the total change in life was? I think that's kind of missing from the conversation right now.
It just separation from
Yeah,
20-year marriage, and
sure.
yeah.
Not to bring up anything bad, I'm just curious, just absolutely
No, I
curious. I think,
understand.
yeah,
I
for sure.
understand.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
you're currently with Innova. What are you loving the most on their lineup? I know you've been
Well,
sponsored by
I mean, I'm
everybody
not
under
really
the
with
sun.
anyone because I'm not,
Oh,
I'm not playing.
well, you're
So,
still on their site, so we got that information from the Innova site. They still got you listed as a Masters sponsored player.
oh, sweet.
Yeah, so there you go, free publicity. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, but it's same,
So
I mean, I love rocks, T-birds, destroyers, AVRs. You can't go
I
wrong.
mean,
You don't really
all right,
need
but you've been
anymore.
sponsored by everybody under the sun, Cam. What is your favorite disc of all time?
My favorite disc of all time is, probably the rock. I feel like with a rock, if I only have one disc, I could do well with that disc. I could play anything, everything, you know.
Anything, any course, I can make any putt.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get it.
especially 20 years ago. I mean, I could should throw
That's
them
all you
all
were
away
playing with
20
20
years
years
ago,
ago.
but
Yeah.
still, I feel like I could get the job done. Putt, upshot, drive, everything with them. It's just a great all around disc, and it's good for people that are starting out to throw something like that instead of these super sharp edge stable discs because it just really changes your form like immediately. I can definitely see why people have taken the sidearm quicker than backhand because of that.
Yes, way more. I mean, Stokely was sidearm for what, 5 years, and
Yeah.
then everybody figured it out at some point. But yeah.
Yeah, it's way easier to throw a disc that way than it is to get that perfect anhyzer. I agree with
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Well, it's way easier to get that stability over, you know,
Correct.
because this way it's just so awkward. And when you're trying to throw with hyzer and flip to ride, you have to develop a lot of power and,
Yeah.
a lot of
Spin.
mechanics and power before you can really do that properly.
It's extremely touchy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And
Uh,
especially disc choice, like there's some discs that just aren't as true as others for whatever reason. And, so you also have to find the more perfect disc for that than, just taking something super stable and, cramming it over.
is there anything yet you missed that they don't make anymore? Like Innova, Discraft, anybody?
Um, of course, the first run CE stuff was,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
they don't make the plastic like they used to. That's for damn sure.
right. Well, and not even that, you got to imagine manufacturers they're getting it from, they change, things change.
Yeah.
It's just a big line. So it's not always just the manufacturer doesn't make it or can't make it. It's just sometimes they run out, or sometimes there were 50 trash cans thrown in the batch, by night crew that nobody knows about.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Right. Things happen.
That's where the night shifts came from.
Right. Well, I was talking about the plastic sellers, but yeah, that
Oh,
you never know.
Yeah, in theory.
Right.
So I guess this is kind of a redundant question, but what would be the most difficult disc to replace in your tournament bag? I'm sure there's a
Um,
certain rock in your bag that you couldn't replace.
well, I mean, yeah, like I literally have, two 8-time rocks and a couple of 9-time rocks in the bag. I have,
I'm sorry,
um,
you say eight-time rocks?
yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
god. Oh my god.
yeah. And the
Dude's throwing
problem with
four,
them,
$500 worth of plastic every tournament.
yeah, because especially if it's below 65, they're gonna crack.
Oh
You
right.
know,
Yeah.
like it's if they weren't stored properly, all this, it's touchy. But I found a few that work really good, and I still, had a few, so that's kind of what my bag is now. The T-birds, are definitely 2002. Some of the yellow ones, some of the second runs, but yeah, that kind of stuff. Some even the modern stuff like the pop top destroyers. you know, like,
Yeah. Have you thrown any of the new Halo stuff?
yeah, I've tried a couple.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really throw a whole bunch of them, but I've thrown some of them, but
They're
they're pretty
beefy.
sweet.
They're beefy for
Right,
Yeah,
sure.
they're
right,
sweet.
I mean,
right
I
on.
have a Halo Roadrunner, and it's my favorite disc because it'll do literally anything.
Right,
It always just wants
Yeah.
to happen, so it's good. Yeah.
absolutely.
Um, what's up? What's up with your collection? I'm sure you. I mean, you just mentioned 8 and 9 times. You got a whole wall of discs you're hoarding over there.
No, I mean, not too big of a collection. I've got a few bins of my throwers. That's about it.
Okay,
Nice.
okay.
Nice.
I'll
That's
give you a call though. But
a simple way to
um,
do it. It surprised me. I thought we were gonna have to be like, okay, so like if you went through the bins, what's the retirement plan? Like what disc is the retirement plan? But to hear that you're like shaving
Right.
it off is good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was a little too generous when it came to that, I mean, I've given so many discs away and, you know, did what I had to do.
discs are made to be thrown.
You're growing the
Absolutely.
sport, but like looking back, you're like, man, I grew the sport, but I could have been growing this. I could have a Ferrari, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with 70 models, GMC trucks and stuff. And same deal. Wish I
Same
had a
deal.
few of
Yeah.
those too.
Oh man.
So, Cam, which one felt better, winning the world title in 2001 or beating Paul McBeth in his prime at GBO in 2016
Hmm.
when you were 42?
That's yeah. I mean, that's a
Both were
tough one.
equally like great in
It's
my
pretty
mind.
much the same. It's pretty much
Yeah.
the same. It's an accomplishment, and I've had kind of a whacked out, career. I've played and I don't, and whatever things happen. Um, come out of nowhere and just show up, and Paul really, really makes me want to play. He's one of the people
Yeah.
that when I get on his card, then I mean, I want to play, and that's awesome. That's how much I respect his game and what he's done, and it was really an honor to be able to play with him when I could, and accomplish the things that I did. So
Hell yeah,
That's
dude.
awesome.
Mad respect. I kind of get that. Like I started showing up. I quit showing up to doubles because every time I'd go to doubles, like I'd have two amateur players that I've never even met before in my life, but they're like taking the most like recreational style of sport that we have and like trying to compete against me. And I'm out there having a good time.
right,
Like that's like in lame terms. This you're talking about an A tier or a national tour with GBO, but I get it. I mean, the pressure and beating down on somebody, it's a different level, and having it in the top level, I could get it. That's awesome.
yeah, it's. I mean, you can't ask for anything more, and it's just a privilege to I don't know, accomplish the things that I set out for. I
Right.
mean,
That's just the competitor in you, right?
right, right. I've
Yeah.
always been
Everybody
that
wants just
way,
to beat
with
the best,
everything.
be the best.
Right. It's just a natural mentality, I guess, for my father. I come home one day and there's a Chevelle, like a 60 something Chevelle sitting in the driveway, and he's just sitting in there in a chair. And I get there, and my brother and I, and he's like, Mitchell, that's what he calls me, Slick. He's like, you boys are taking the engine out today. And we're like, what? And he was like, yep, you're taking the engine out. We're like, Dad, come on. He was like, nope, I'm going to sit here and watch you, and you're going to take the engine out, and you're going to figure out how to do it. So, basically, we were like, all right. And every time we hit the thing with a hammer, he'd go, but he let us do it. And he just made sure that he knew that he was there if we ever needed him, but we had to learn to figure things out on our own.
Did
And
you take that? Did you take that to the course? Did you say, well, if I hold it at this angle and hit it this hard, it does one thing, but if I hold it at this angle and hit it this hard, it does another thing? Was that maybe part of the
absolutely.
programming of it all?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Physics have always been a thing. My dad was pretty smart that way. One of the biggest things I've taken to the course is when, I'm having a little bit of struggles or whatever. My dad always told me that just look up in the tree, and when you see the leaf blowing, that's me there with you. And
Ah,
yeah, just his man, he's a rough, tough man with a lot of logic and sensibility. and it was pretty special to have learned from him. I
Wisdom,
definitely
right?
learned things not to do, as well. But I learned a lot about, being strong-willed and strong-minded and
Yeah.
being sensible about it.
Yeah. It
Oh
sounds
yeah,
like
dude.
it. Sounds like it for sure.
Dude, so the World Championship back in 2001, going back to it, it came in the heights of Kent Climo, Barry Schultz, Ron Russell. Everybody was in their primes in that day, and you won the Worlds. Did you see those guys as rivals, or was it more of like pals and friends, and
Well,
everybody went out every weekend and competed?
yeah, we were all friends, but I definitely had the heads up on the dartboard and taking my shots. I mean,
Yeah,
I was gunning them down. They were the ones to beat that, but that was all from respect. I wouldn't have,
right.
I wouldn't have wanted to beat them if I didn't idolize them as well. I just basically wanted to play my best game and wanted to come out. That's what I was more into. But no, we were all great friends, man. It was really cool back then because it was a big family, a big dysfunctional family.
Yeah,
No matter what.
dysfunctional.
Yeah, absolutely. No matter what, we stood by each other, man, and we swallowed our differences and we went out together, and we'd have 60, 70 people going out for, events and things, and it was pretty awesome, man, pretty special.
The McCoys
Oh yeah,
talk about
dude.
that. We have Kevin and Courtney on a bunch, and they've said the disc golf family is what's kind of missing right now.
Yeah, when we figured it, the bigger it gets, it's gonna happen.
It's not gonna be
Just
that.
like some tomfoolery going on with miscreants, like you're going to have people step in and
Mhm.
things happen, and we're going to lose that family touch. But I think there's always going to be a part of it because it is so deep, and it did happen
Right.
that way for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If someone has never seen you play or looked at your record, how would you describe yourself as a disc golfer? What's your game like?
So fast that you can't see it.
Yeah, you're just get up and throw and get out of there. Yeah.
The camera guys used to just scream bloody murder. It was like they had to drop everything they were doing, within a minute of my shot because it was like that.
Do
So
you have a mental? I mean, it sounds like your mental checklist is just like wind, height, what? I just let's go. Is it natural or is it?
absolutely.
Could you
If I'm
even?
thinking about anything else, it's wrong.
Could
It's
you
bad.
write down your mental checklist, or is it literally you stand there, feel it all, and just go?
I've put in the work, so it became natural. I've put in the field work. I've put in training aids. I've put in physics and things like that to actually study them to achieve that. But yeah, I step up, and I mean I feel with feeling in sight the elevation. Sometimes I would take something and test the wind. I can't always just feel that.
Yeah.
You definitely want to see something, a visual for that. But it's basically you calculate, visualize, execute.
Calculate, visualize, execute.
Absolutely. You
I like
calculate
that.
everything you have to, you visualize yourself throwing, feel yourself throwing, and then you execute, you step up and throw.
Can
And
I
and
ask
it's
a
all
question? I'm going to ask a question. Why is it calculate first, visualize second? Do you feel like there's for me, I get on the T-pad and I visualize, then calculate. And I'm curious as to your approach.
well, because if you visualize first, you can visualize anything. I can visualize me throwing an anhyzer when I'm actually throwing a hyzer, or
Mm-hmm.
just a little bit nose up or nose down, or just if I don't calculate everything involved, then I don't have the perfect form for it or the perfect feel for my form.
You're conforming to the course in that as opposed to saying, I'm going to do something artistic on the course. And this is a fun question. You're an artistic guy. Ken Climo once said the easiest thing in disc golf is to learn how to throw straight and throw straight as often as you can. As a creative guy, is it hard for you to rein in a creative shot when something else is necessary? Like, for instance, you're at a shot where you can throw a hyzer flip, it'll look fun, it'll land real good, but you can also just throw straight at it. Is there a part of you that has to say, don't do the fun thing, do the effective thing?
Maybe at first, but when I saw the results and what it really was, then it was
Yeah.
easy. If you want to win, you're going to be the most boring golfer in the world,
Right.
pretty much.
Boring. Andrew Fish says it all the time. Right.
Yeah, it looks like you didn't do anything, but it also looks like you didn't do anything bad.
All story, no glory. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
You're also one of the best putters to ever putt. You have a DVD that's still available, and still everyone loves your DVD. What is it that made you just own putting? You honed your putting to the point where you are the guy. Why putting, and what did you do different than everybody else?
Well, I don't know what everybody else does, but I know the first 2 years I practiced for at least 5 hours a day, minimal, every day. Maybe skipping 1 day a month or 2 days a month, maybe something like that. But I pretty much practiced 5 hours a day. I putted it well over 1,000 putts, 2,000, sometimes 3,000. I had it, I had a formula, and I wrote down every single putt that I took in my practice procedures. I had them marked out, from 5 feet to 75 feet in increments, and I wrote a log, and I knew everything. I knew my misses. I knew my makes, and how close they were, how many cage hits, how many top of the cage, how many right side. I had everything logged, and I was able to study it and work on it and make it better.
This is crazy to me because we're going to talk about your art a little later, but you're an artistic guy, and that's what a lot of what your disc golf contribution right now is art. But it sounds like you're also extremely analytical when it comes to your performance.
Yeah, I mean, I just understand, I guess from baseball, sports earlier, then, I went to skateboarding, all kinds of things. I learned that if you don't know what is going on with your game, if you don't know the problems, you can't fix them.
Correct.
So if you have a problem, you could not really know what it is, and you can try to fix it, but you alter it 10 times worse because you're fixing something that you don't know exactly what is. You're not fixing the right things or exactly what needs to be fixed. You're tampering with things. So
Yeah,
I
right.
like to know exactly where my game's at to only mess with the things that need messing with, or else you can really cause a problem.
when you started
Right.
with art, was it a case of saying, I need to learn the technique so well that I can get it out of me? Or did you just start doing art and getting better at it?
No, I was in third grade, and I had just changed schools, and had an art class. That was my class when I changed schools. And I drew a picture, and the teacher, was like, whoa. They actually called my parents in the school. They thought I was in trouble. But they were like, look at what your kid did. So I was like, wow, I must can draw. But it just came to me. And I am analytical with that as well for certain things. But sometimes, yeah, I get really tired of that. And I just want to throw paint on the canvas,
Just
however I
scatter.
can.
Oh yeah.
Just
Spray and
whatever. Just,
spray
yeah,
and pray like an Anheuser in the woods.
absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Okay, so you've in the
Spraying
past
paint.
had a reputation for being a little heated on the course. You're a very passionate guy. And I've heard that has changed, and I wanted to know what steps you've taken to kind of say, this is getting in the way of my success. What do I need to do?
Well, I guess it's just basically times have changed. Like before, it was just, it was a different story. You didn't have as many cameras on you, and people were doing different things. This, you know, there was just touchy situations, and and I was also trying to like elevate the sport. Like so many things needed to change, and it was tough to really get people to listen and try to adapt new things. And it was really frustrating. But
It's
there
a
was a lot of,
self-officiating sport, bro.
it was you basically had to win almost every weekend to continue at the point I was
Right.
playing when I first started. And it was basically like we just all threw on our gloves, man, and we went to town because that's what you had to do.
You're
And
fighting for scraps.
there was no supervision. There was no nothing. So sometimes, like people got out of hand and other people would have to get on them. And that's kind of how it happened with all of us. It was kind of a little bit rambunctious at times, but.
You got any advice for guys? Like I play with some guys every now and then, not going to mention names, but kicking the bag, cursing the wind, punching trees, any sort of like advice for those guys coming up in the game who all of a sudden find themselves getting really agitated for no reason?
Yeah, it's a practice, man. You've got to, just like anything, you've got to mark it down that you have a problem with it and you've got to work on it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with, in my opinion, being a little passionate. There are rules. And I think what would have fixed everything in the beginning if people actually just followed the rules. Because if somebody does something, all you have to do is go by the rules and then it's put to an end. And the biggest problem is people, it's tough for people to follow those rules and make a stand and say something. Some people are like, I'll just sit here and won't say anything or won't make the judgment call. And then I'll say something about it later. I think the best thing is for everybody to learn the rules and follow the rules. If somebody, gets out of hand, then call them out on it, and try to learn not to feel bad about that, because it's going to help you and them and everyone in the game.
Everyone forgets that part of the rules is enforcing the rules. Like,
absolutely,
it's self-officiating.
That's part of the sport.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a self-officiating sport, and it feels wrong to call like a foot fault on your friend, but at the same time, it's like you would want them to call that foot fault on you if you were to foot fault, because that you're taking an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you're a true sportsman to the game,
it's still golf at the end, right? Yeah,
correct.
Absolutely.
I mean, and like speaking of like, disc golf has evolved like so much over the last couple of years, and like you in particular have been one to embrace the change and bring on change.
Absolutely.
What do you think about these telephone polls at the USDGC?
Man,
mozzarella cheese sticks, if you will.
Yeah, it's basically USDGC has been doing this since the beginning. I mean, I don't know if literally how they, how Harold's going about it and other things. I
think it's all Jonathan now. I think it's all Poole.
Andrew
Doobie. It's his son now.
Son, exactly. His son. Yeah. So basically, that's where he learned from. So that's the mentality.
Right.
What I think is, if you're going to have experiments, it should be at an experimental tournament.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I feel. I don't feel
like they say it's an XC tier, but like also we give it all this prestige to it. You have to qualify. There's extra pay-per-view footage. Like, does it deserve this prestige if they're just going to make it wackier every year?
I really wish they wouldn't. But we've been talking about it for years. Since about 2001 or 2, they changed the course, and they for one, you can't have history. You can't have people sitting on aim in the corner going, man, the same thing happened in 2000. Did you see this? He's in the same situation. How's it going to play out?
15 down isn't the same 15 down year from year.
Right. And you just, to me, you're like you said, that they have all this prestige, and that's just because of the sport was embryonic and they had the money to step up and do it, and they had the clout, which is fine, but it just caused a lot of issues. And I really think that, maybe run an experimental tournament before, the year before, and implement something the next year.
And then even maybe make it a qualifier, like, offer 1 or 2 spots out of it. I think that's 100% on that. They should do
right.
That.
And I really wish they would offer a few more spots on the qualifying, because a lot of people spend a lot of money to participate in that, and they have plenty of spots, that they could run through. I mean, I just wish they would take, at least 5 or 10 more out of that. Would be nice.
I agree with that. And open it up to like a little bit more like the higher sanctioned A tiers or so in the area. Like maybe give those guys a little more chance to get in.
Yeah, absolutely.
if we're adding
obstacles. Yeah.
artificial artificial obstacles to the courses, are we like so we're adding artificial obstacles to open courses? Are we in theory making them wooded courses? Like, should disc golf be more in the woods, or should we like gearing towards like golf courses? What is
It,
your opinion on it?
I mean, if they have enough woods, I don't. Yeah, I'm not really for the ground non-visible OB thing. Artificial OB just doesn't make any sense to me. You know, I mean,
Mm,
I think that's from a
it's
designer
a luck,
standpoint, I could see how that this could seem like a great thing and it's enthusiastic and all of that. But as far as a professional event and fairness to all the players and the sport, I just think, I don't understand like the whole score separation mentality, because
yeah,
if you're a top professional, there's no way you should be 8 strokes worse or better than someone in that tournament. And
correct,
I know that used to like, we didn't have people that were the same caliber. It would go from your top player to like a scrub or whatever. But, it's getting closer to closer that you have, elite players, at least the top 20, and they shouldn't be getting 8 strokes different or 5 strokes, on one hole, unless something just
right.
ridiculous happened. It's all
Considering
about
their ratings, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
right. The excitement to
The
me is coming down, with 4 or 5 people being able to win it to the
right,
last hole. When
absolutely.
you've got a 9 stroke lead or 12 stroke lead because everybody's finally taking the 12,
Nobody's
then
gonna
the
watch that.
excitement's gone.
Right. I agree with that. And it's like, I mean, we see it in golf, like the USGA golf, and like, man, there's too
Which
many
is yeah.
points
So,
to agree with you.
but here's the other problem though is that means wide open disc golf would be purer in some aspects because the scoring separation wouldn't be there. If every hole was 420 feet
Well, then
with
you've only
either
got to
one top,
select like 10 people playing against each other.
they'd be chasing
Right.
each other by one stroke. Yeah.
Right. But then, I don't know. I know a lot of disc golfers, don't feel like you can maneuver the disc, like you have to shape the disc, like you can just throw the same shot every time.
Right.
So, I can see that it would get a little boring,
The
to be
height of
wide
contest.
open
Yeah.
every time. I think there's a fair way. I think you can take 2 or 3 trees and really design a shot shaping hole. You don't have
Yeah.
to have, 4 trees right planted in the front of the tee, or you don't have to have 1,000 trees. If you design properly, you can really get a nice shaped hole that you have to throw, different discs and different shapes for, almost every hole. It doesn't
Give me
really
a
take
water
that much,
tower.
but
You
it
know what I
takes
mean? Give
some,
me a water. You know.
right.
Yeah, like the
Water
water tower at
definitely.
Life Zone. Absolutely.
What do you like better, woods or wide open?
Yeah.
I like woods better. Not like I said, I like a mixture. I like woods to where you're not throwing a better shot than someone and they getting through and you don't.
Right.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
tough to swallow sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like when there's OB on every single hole, it becomes who's out by 6 and who's in by 6. You know,
Yeah.
and that's just difficult to swallow too sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we touched on it a little bit earlier, but the rules of the PDGA. Is there anything that like you feel like needs to be addressed in the PDGA like rule handbook? Like say the I personally think that the circle within step putt should be pushed back to 45 feet, but opinions are like assholes.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like as long as there are rules for it and we know what they are and we
Correct.
can follow it, I'm pretty fine with it. If you look at golf, uh, most of the reason people don't even make it in ball golf is because they're not smart enough to pass the test. I
Right.
mean, I think the average IQ is way up there on golf. So I would say inevitably, our rule book should be like this thick,
Yeah.
and we've
Yeah.
got we've got a pamphlet, So I would say, yeah, there needs to be a lot addressed on the rules, but that's time and dedication and having a team that's, paid to do so or whatever. So, hopefully it will expand.
Basically, it comes down to the PDGA becoming a no longer not for profit
Right.
organization.
Yeah, that's what the DGPT is, though. Imagine that. Look at how that's going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Mhm.
At one point, yeah, you worked on a design for a disc golf basket, and I've seen the design. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
We've got
Adam's got a
pictures. I'm going to
picture
put them
here.
up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it adjusts to two different sizes. Um, I think it's genius, honestly.
Thank you. It adjusted, from talking with everybody, because every time I've implemented in something in the sport or wanted something, it was never about my game, ever.
Right.
It was literally about everyone else's game but mine, So I really, took some time to find out what everybody wanted. So I made a basket that actually went from the design that I wanted to every single, every ability that it could to the regular size basket. So it literally went up in, an inch or so increments from small to wide. Yeah. It had multiple positions, very many.
Did
And
you want yours to be on the small side, or did you want it to be like almost medium but skinny side? Which one
well,
was your idea? Where do
as
you think
far
it should
as
be?
as far as testing, I've tested my basket for years. I've
Yeah.
putted, I drove, I've done so much in it. And the size that I want is the smallest, but it has never had a cut through, never had a spit out, not one time.
So
Not
I have a
one
question about it because I
time.
love it. But this non-circular bogey band, how much fun is it to see things doink off of that? You get some weird kicks off that, or not really?
I'm sure it can happen. It's almost impossible to take that away, but yeah, I could definitely see it without the band. That was never
Or I'm
like
not
that.
even saying, yeah. It just
That was
looks
just
fun, like you're hitting your disc against this almost octagonal thing or pentagonal thing, and like you're gonna get some real weird kind of like flutters off of it. No,
right. And
Right.
that's really because I was hands on in a welding shop, making this basket.
oh,
So it
you
wasn't
physically made this. You didn't source this out somewhere.
right, right.
All right.
So well, a buddy of mine basically, did a lot of the work, but yeah, it was us together making the basket, and it was what we had without like putting a whole production together or whatever. It was just something for me to be able to test and see what, worked the best.
You
Right
ever
on.
thrown an ace in on it?
Yeah, I've driven in it so many times as hard as I can, and it catches. It does not
What was the furthest ace on it?
on that. I mean, I haven't like played any super long holes with it too much, but I've thrown from a couple 100 feet, 200 or 300 feet.
Nice.
Okay.
So what can you
Yeah, I
explain to me?
like
Because
it.
I'm curious about this. Can you explain the reason for the small top band big basket?
Yes,
It's more
because
like ball golf, bro.
it's fit well, but it's physics. If
Mhm.
Yeah.
you hit any part of that top assembly,
Yep.
chains, the chain assembly all below, you can barely touch it with the right speed. It's going in the basket.
Just doinks in, it kind of pops in, right?
It doesn't
It will
even.
always go in
I
that
mean,
basket.
if the angle is going into the basket, then it goes in. But if you're drilling inside and you barely nick a chain, it will fly by.
But
But if
you're
you
eliminating
can't,
anomalies, is what you're doing. You're saying it's a more accurate, not accurate, but like it's just more predictable.
yeah, the physics, the deflection allows it to go in every time. You
Right.
know,
Okay.
if your chains are the same width as your catch,
Mhm.
your basket, if your chains are the same width, it
You have
only makes
likelihoods of
sense that
bouncing.
you're going to have so many bounce out and spit out. And then you're pulling the chains wider apart, you're going to have so many cut through, which they
Right.
are, fixing with a lot of baskets. But I lost the Green Mountain Championships for the 10 grand several years ago to Paul Macbeth because I had 3 cut throughs from 12 feet.
Was that before you designed the basket?
No.
No, it was after. Okay. I was going to say,
Yeah.
I could see you just like driving the whole way home from Smuggler's Notch being like, I'm going to fix these baskets. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the whole career. I mean, we literally had to go around and how many cut throughs you have, how many cut throughs you have, because we want to see if we really won or not.
Oh, right.
I mean, that was a big thing. I'd have 7 or 8 around. Or
what's the most controversial loss you have on cut throughs?
That's one of them. And then that's one of them. And then, the other one is OB stuff from USDGC. But
okay, that's I mean, we're talking about that too. Yeah, so
yeah, exactly. I was pretty much riding home 17 and 18. I was up by quite a few, and I took a 2-2-2-11 on hole 17. So with 4 perfect drives, perfect. As I wouldn't have wanted to do it any different. So it is what it is.
I can see your passion for making the game more not equitable, but a little fairer, I guess. Yeah.
Right. Because what's challenging without fairness? I even have a theory on like measuring a course, a width per distance formula that would give you a true percentage of how fair your course is. So instead of like a rating against other people, you could actually rate the course then and say, well, at least I measured it and it has a 75% fair margin. So then if people are like, well, the challenging grade is this, it's this challenging with a 75% fairness.
It's like giving a ball golf course a slope rating. I've been preaching this since I started playing disc golf.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Maybe we'll get there someday. Who knows?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we can only dream. Yo, so I know you were a major piece, or at least you were sponsored by Salient Discs for a little while.
Yep.
You want to give us a little dive down that wormhole? Let's hear the history about it.
I think there's a lot of people who don't know anything about Salient Discs.
Yeah, dude. I mean, most of these guys have never even heard of them, the ones that have just started playing.
Right. I don't know. It was, I was just coming back and the guy seemed like a really super cool dude. He was running tournaments. He was nice to me. We got things, started to get things started. And then I think I was going to put my art on different discs. And they were like, well, that's a no, you can't do that. And I'm like, well, this is my art and it's a different entity. It's my business. I have to be able to survive and do that, So that was kind of like that. And then amongst other things, like I think they were, I don't know, doing some weird things with some courses out there that I just didn't want to be a part of. So
where's out there? North Carolina, right?
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah, I think they were pretty much from South Carolina. So they had some dealings with some courses, or maybe didn't have dealings and did some things with courses. I don't know. I just know after a few things, I kind of was just done with it and left.
Yeah, can't blame me.
I remember they came out with like one disc and maybe like a bag, and then I like they ran a couple tournaments, and then I never heard anything else from Salient. Yeah, Adam said something about a putter, but
the putter was good, wasn't it? I heard the putter was good.
I guess it was. I guess it was okay. I didn't get to play with it long enough. I went 4 or 5 times to the drawing board to try to get them to change it to what I wanted, and it was getting better. It was getting a lot better, but with all the other things that was happening, that kind of got just cut where it was too. So
yeah. All right, I'm going to switch gears and talk about your art a little bit. You said you've been doing art since 3rd grade. Has painting always been the number one thing for you, or have you illustrated? Have you done some other stuff too?
No, I only started painting about 12 years ago.
Okay.
Before then, throughout my life, in spurts of hardcore, and then not so much, was pencil charcoal, pretty much.
Okay.
So drawing.
Nice.
Straight up illustration. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Any sculpture, any 3-dimensional stuff or no?
Yeah, I dabble. I mean, all kinds of things. I've done some ceramics and some wood sculptures and chainsaw sculptures. I mean, I've tried it all.
Oh yeah.
I love art and I love doing it. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Did you
Some of the
graduate from
work.
AI?
What?
Sorry, Adam.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
no,
Did you end
I
up
did.
graduating from AI?
I actually was going for music recording.
Oh,
Really?
nice.
And then found just completely different arts.
Yep. Well, just found disc golf. That's when I
Right.
actually found disc golf, and yeah, I pretty much gave up everything for disc golf. I gave up a really nice construction job. I was just getting promoted to the supervisor, and yeah, I turned down some pretty good stuff to go find disc golf.
So,
I mean,
do you have a
would
favorite
you do
course
it
in
all over
Georgia? You were
again?
down here for a while. What's your
Yeah,
favorite
do
course?
it all over again. Absolutely, man. 100%.
Yeah. What's your favorite course in Georgia?
In Georgia.
Will's Park.
Don't you dare.
Yeah, that's definitely, that's definitely a sweet place for me in my memory bank, but not the best course.
Yeah, I love it. Keith Johnson's gonna lose his mind. I love it.
Well, it's got to change quite a bit since
Yeah,
my
it
day.
has.
So,
It has changed so much.
Yeah.
right, right. So I don't know, and I'm not really familiar with a lot, but I really do like IDGC. Um,
Yeah.
You take
two of the
that back
courses
right now.
out there are phenomenal, man, and with just a little bit of work, they can be, top 10 courses in the world for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think I'm a Perkerson regular. Austin's won everything at Perkerson ever, so we're
Right
big
I'm
on.
gonna
fans
start
of
voting.
Georgia.
I'm gonna start voting you in for board of directors, Cam.
I hear you, man.
That
Whether
would be
you
good.
want it or not, I'm gonna start voting you in.
Right
All
on.
right. So Cam, some of your art is kind of rooted in reality. A lot of it's pretty fantastical. I want to know, do you wake up in the morning and say, this is going to be a weird one or a real one, or is it just the mood that takes you there?
Well, I do commissions some, and things like that. So I sometimes paint a particular thing, but
Mm-hmm.
very rare is it so set in stone because I can have this vision of something I'm going to paint and it will turn out nothing like it whatsoever. Like I will literally just get lost and have ADD and all kinds of things and not stay on topic. And, the finished product is nothing like I was trying to go for. So
It's very
Are
much
you in the
oh, go
Are
ahead.
you in the Are you in the process of painting something right now?
I am.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
I've seen the
He's had
paintbrush.
that paintbrush in his hand the whole time.
Yeah, this is great.
Oh, you
I'm gonna
do?
put up a couple of your paintings. We snagged a couple. They got the watermark, but I mean it's fantastic stuff. It's disc golf rated. One of our co-hosts who's not here today, Cody Vitale, had bought some of your art to use as prizes at one of his tournaments. Everyone absolutely loved it. I have some friends who own some of your pieces. But it's a lot of fun. Do you consume art for yourself outside of what you do, and what do you prefer if you do?
I have a lot of artist friends, and so I try to support them. Anything that catches my eye. I don't really prefer anything, just anything that catches my eye, anything that looks good.
Yeah, you've got a lot wide style, abstract, realist, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. As
Awesome.
far as
What do you?
abstract, as long as, like I said, it looks good,
Yeah.
'cause
What do you?
who knows? I mean, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So,
I bought some bad
Yeah.
abstract. Like 2 weeks later, I'm like, ugh.
right.
What are your thoughts on some disc golfers who are like holding logo contests to get 12 logos from artists out there? Pick one and give them a grip bag or give them some discs. Do you think that's fair, or should these athletes go out and find an artist they like and pay them just straight up that way?
Well, I guess it's only fair if everybody that's doing it is willing, as long as
Right.
they're
Right.
willing to lose, and not get anything for their time, I guess that's the fairness in it. But
Or if they
Their
only
choice.
want like that $100-$200 paycheck for it, then it is what it is.
right.
Would you ever do something? Anybody say, I want to, I mean, you would never jump into one of those, right? You're good, right?
No.
Yeah.
You ever
You know
design a
what you're
tattoo for anybody?
I was a tattoo artist for about 7 years.
No way. No way.
Yeah,
If
sure
I come up there and find you in the Carolinas, would you put the Frolfcenter tattoo on me?
absolutely.
Hell, dude, we're doing it.
Oh,
We're gonna get
dude,
I'm
roasted.
let's
in
do it. And I want
I'm
an
in
artist
Virginia,
piece
by the
behind
way.
it.
You're in Virginia now. Okay, not the
Yeah.
Carolinas anymore. Virginia. Okay.
Yep.
You're up there where those
What it's like,
foundations
it's
are.
in the tri-state,
Right.
Tennessee, West North Carolina. Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Okay. Very nice.
Oh
Sorry,
yeah,
I had
bro.
that wrong. Yeah.
All right, so we're kind of I put this air quotes around this, the golden era of disc golf. Do you agree with that or not?
That
Like, do you
this
think the competition is just so highly and it's so like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like intriguing that like it's bringing a lot of eyes to disc golf. And do you
well,
believe
I
we're in
mean,
the golden era?
I think not the golden era. I think it's going to progress. I think social media has made it change completely. I think that's the biggest change, and the numbers. So before you had five of us. Now you've got
Yeah,
40. You know,
yeah,
so that's really the only difference. I don't see much as far as skill level. I see disc, the evolution of disc and the technology being advanced, from
right.
us. But as far as skill and player, it's just the amount. Like I said before, it was five of us at a tournament. Now there's 40 or 50. You know,
Right, but there's 40 or
and
50, but there's really only like 10 of them winning week to week.
right,
Like
exactly.
occasionally, like you sprinkle in one or two.
Exactly, and that's like it's exactly. So that's there were less before, and now there's a little more.
Right. Do you see any like troubles on the horizon and like any growing pains with the
Um, I mean, everything faces growing pains,
right?
So
I
I
agree
would
with that.
I would imagine it would be minimal, because it's the way that our infrastructure is set up. The courses, we have so many courses, so many,
Right. Right. We're not
that
going to
are
see a
free
giant.
to play. And even if they do start charging, it's going to be nominal, and they're going to have to start slowly. So that's going to allow us to grow for so many more years, before there's
Yeah,
a cap on anything that we would really face anything, from our growth standpoint.
I get that. Are there any trends within the sport that you worry about? Like, is there something about the disc golf like like for me being a course designer, I know you're a course designer as well. I hate when a disc golf course is anywhere close to like a public transportation way, like a walkway or like a
Right,
playground.
right.
Like
No,
it
I
just drives
agree.
me absolutely nuts.
Right, I totally agree. That should never happen. We used to throw over baseball fields back in the day, and
You're still throwing at a playground field at Wills Park, by the way,
Yeah.
just to let you know,
right. That's
in
what I
case you
heard
haven't
there
missed out.
as well. But yeah, I disagree with that. That you never even want to even play with someone getting hurt, on the side,
Correct.
being there for something else. And you can't say, "Hey, you should pay attention to know there's a disc golf course here," because that's not how it works. They're there on a park trying to enjoy their day. They don't need to know about disc golf. They should be able to enjoy it, and we should be able to enjoy our game. So the design is where it comes to. You really should think about those things when you're designing.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that, and I can't stress it enough to people that are just going out there and designing courses because they got the
Can
approval from their local
right,
county
Yeah.
person.
right, and
Like
then
seek out professional advice
there you
is
go.
is
That's what I
my
was
like.
gonna say. Just swallow the pride a little bit and just look for advice. And people
Yeah,
will help you.
exactly.
Find somebody. And not all good top pros know what they're talking about. So course design is a special thing. Like ball golf, they go
Correct.
to school for that. And I think it's a different thing. A different thing. So some top pros will be good at it, but some will not.
Correct.
So yeah, we just have to become to know who those good designers really are. And I would seek
Right.
their advice for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, just speaking on the designer half, like, never mind. I'm not even gonna go to
Yeah,
it.
that's true. That's a whole thing.
That's we can go another 30 minutes into that discussion alone. Throughout your career, Cam, what are you most proud of?
Just, you know,
I want to
traveling.
say the legacy. I love Cam Todd. I love
Yeah, yeah.
I yeah. We came up and played a course that you designed in South Carolina a couple years ago, and
Nice.
just knowing that you come from my hometown is just like huge enough for me. I love it.
So you were saying, but you're most proud of your traveling?
Man, just my experiences, just that I literally did not know what I was doing, how I was going to do it, and I made up my mind to go on full-time tour with a book and a map. And that's it, and just to have accomplished that, and I was able to stay out on the road as long as I wanted, and I brought tools and everything because I thought I was going to have to work. I thought I was going to have to do some flooring or do some house repair, whatever. So I had a whole van full of tools that I ended up never needing, and I couldn't believe it. It was the most amazing thing. But to experience all the friendships and just to take the initiative and decide to do it and go through with it, that's definitely what I'm most proudest of.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
dude, you leave a legacy behind. I think the Cam Todd name will forever live in the disc golf. And if you're not in the Hall of Fame already, you deserve to be.
Well, that's very kind of you to say, man. I
We'll
am who
talk
I
to
am.
Speedy.
I'm
Speedy's
just
still kicking
Cam. And
around. Yeah.
what's that?
Speedy's still kicking around. We can talk to him, give him a nudge for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love that
he knows
guy.
Speedy.
I love that guy for sure.
So
Last of the serious questions, then we'll have some fun. Yeah.
what do you hope of the people will remember you when you finally hang the game up?
Um,
I don't think you'll ever hang the game up, will you? I could see
no,
you out in a walker throwing frisbees.
right, right. Yeah, I mean, all I don't really care as much. I just would hope they kind of see the truth in me, and that I'm a very giving person, and I've given every bit of myself to this game and others that play it.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
and
you've got
and
my
that's what I've honestly done. I've given everything I possibly have, to people and players in the sport, and that's all I'll continue to do.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh
I
yeah,
think they're the people who have any brains about them recognize that, and we appreciate you for it.
Right
anybody that
on,
knows Cam Todd knows that.
right on. That's nice of you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Now
right,
it's time
so
for the fun.
yeah, fun stuff. Celebration meal on your world tour, your world victory, and the GBO victory.
What would you go out to eat
What
when
was
you
a
win?
celebration meal?
Celebration meal.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I think I basically took about 15 or 20 people out for dinner. So it was a bunch of celebration meals.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
But
I
I mean,
ate a
like,
little
if
bit
you
off
were,
there.
let's say you just land a big art deal, or you just win a tournament. Are you going for steak? Are you going for lobster? What are you going for? For you to
Man,
celebrate.
like now, like I don't know, man. You know, it just depends on where I'm at, but I like it all. I'm not a huge lobster guy or whatever. Most seafood or fish, I if I catch it, I'll eat it, but I'm not
Sure.
too big on buying it in the stores and stuff, you know.
Gotcha.
But as far as steaks, sure, all that ribs, love that. But chicken, love that.
Champagne
But
and strippers or no?
I like Thai food too. Like I like Thai food and
Ooh,
Indian
there we
food
go.
and stuff like that a lot. That would be really my preference.
And that food
Yeah,
is best
we're going
after
to
a
Hibachi.
tournament, not before a tournament, right? Thai food.
Right.
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 Dude,
Yeah.
I've done that once, never again.
Right. Yeah.
If you could choose any celebrity, alive or dead, to be your doubles partner, who would you want to play with?
Oh boy. Any
Hell yeah.
celebrity.
Yeah.
Clip that.
Black Jack. Jack Black, I guess.
Oh, that would be
Jack
fun.
Black. Dude.
He would get into it, I think.
Yeah.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
he's way into it.
That's good.
I'm
That's
a
a good
huge
answer.
Jack Black. All right, so what's the walk-up song, you know, for your first tournament? I guess did they do walk-up songs at GBO?
Yeah, they did.
All right, what's the walk-up song for the 2016 GBO?
I pretty much come from like the DJ era, so
Okay.
it's basically going to be some house music, with
Nice.
some, yeah, some driving, melodies and some bass.
No,
That's
no
awesome. We
lyrics,
actually hit up.
just some like solid tunes.
Yeah, we actually hit up DJ Heck. Yeah, I think he's gonna come on the show soon. He's picking out a date, so that'll be fun.
Nice.
Uh,
Nice.
we're from Georgia. You've been in Georgia. You have any good Kevin McCoy stories for us? We love embarrassing Kevin McCoy on this show.
Kevin McCoy stories. Well, we were playing at a tournament, and Kevin's
Bet you
probably
need
got
Courtney
like a
before Kevin.
45-footer, 50-footer, and he jams the putt, and it sticks in the side of the cage, and he looks around, and everybody's so confused, and he just ran as fast as he could and slid from about 12 feet under the basket and snatched the disc out before it fell out. That was pretty cool. That was pretty epic.
That sounds like Kevin. Yeah. Was he in a tutu at the time or a skirt or anything? No.
No, not yet.
At that time, yeah.
He was probably baseball pants still.
Oh boy.
All right, most important question. You're from the Southeast. What is the Waffle House order? Whether it be 8 o'clock or
the All-Star
1:30.
special with grits also, and double hash browns also, and everything.
Everything on top of the hash browns.
Just everything. Like I'm getting the All-Star special. You know how you got to choose between the meats and the.
You just give me the 19.
You want sausage and bacon.
All of them. The
sausage and bacon. I want the waffle and the grit and the hash browns.
And the
I
grit.
Want the caviar.
And the bacon,
I want the champagne.
And the sausage. Yeah. All of it.
Yeah.
You just mix it all together. There you go.
That's perfect.
That's amazing. Do you have any superstitions on the course?
Oh man. Yeah, I mean I used to. It was almost like
thought hard about that. What is
you
it?
almost have to eat the same thing every day, and
especially when you're living in the van.
It's like until you win, until you know how to win, you're just making up reasons of what it takes. You're trying to find out what it takes. I used to carry a rabbit's foot. I've done that. I've carried a towel, and I thought that made me all feel professional. It's probably silly all in the way and everything, but I mean, I definitely went through it.
Nice. Joe Costa wants to know, you got any good hamster stories?
Hamster stories?
Yeah.
Am I supposed
to?
Brad Hamster Hammock.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, we call him Hamster down here because he's so little.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. It's like another baseball slide. This guy, when he demonstrates a story, it is so.
God, you're not lying.
I mean, it's some of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like this guy, it just blows my mind with his energy and with his like passion to just tell a simple story. But he was reliving this baseball moment, and he literally just flew through somebody's house, slid down the hallway, got up, made the play, and I'm just like, this guy is just intense. He's pretty awesome.
Yeah. You surround yourself with intense people, it sounds like. Yeah.
I met Hammock at like the age of, I think he was at the prime age of 48 when I met Hammock, and he was still doing the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unreal. I don't know where he gets the energy from, truthfully.
Well, I mean, being that little, you have to be full of it.
Right.
His heart beats faster than ours,
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yo, Cam, you want to give us a sneak peek of what that thing is you're painting?
Yeah, you want me to go grab something?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Cool. I'll pull them out for a second just so it's not weird and strange. But yeah, Cam Todd's grabbing a painting for us, guys. This is a Frolfcenter exclusive. This is good.
Oh yeah.
This is straight up legend stuff. Here we go. We're gonna get it right now. Hold on. Let's get this on the big screen. Ooh.
Was this a requested paint or is this something straight off the piece?
This is a commission.
You said this is a commission?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That sunset's great. Hell yeah, bud. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Tell people where they can find your art. It's Cam Todd Productions.bigcartel or Cam Todd Art.bigcartel.
It's Cam Todd Productions at Big Cartel.
Yeah, we'll post that. We'll post that link up on the page.
Yeah. We will pull that and post it on this video for everybody.
You know, they can definitely always reach out to me personally. You know, pretty easy to deal with as far as that goes. I can meet their needs.
Hell yeah. Cam, we want to give you the floor. We're going to put you up on the big screen, let you tell people whatever they need to hear about you, how they can support you, how they can follow you, all that good stuff. You get to sign off to the people, and we'll talk to you next time, right?
Right on. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
All right.
Dude, Cam, it's been fun, man. Good to see you, brother.
Right on. Hey, everybody out there. I'm Cam Todd. I'm just chilling and trying to find out another way to get back on disc golf tour. I've been letting things settle down, especially with the COVID and everything. So I'd hope to be out there soon. If you want some art, just reach out to me on Facebook. I do have a site. It's Cam Todd Production at bigcartel.com. Probably a lot easier for you to reach out to me on Facebook or something. And I'd love to help you out and work with you. Take care, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for everything, and hope to see you down the fairway. Happy flights.
Oh yeah, dude. That's such a fucking.
Oh yes, that was awesome.
That's such an old school thing to say. Like, happy flights, y'all be
see
good.
you down the fairway. That was amazing.
See you down the fairway. God, birds and aces, boy. Birds and aces,
buddy. Ace one for me, said Jim Oram. I'm gonna pull up this.
Rest in
I'm gonna make
peace.
sure I get this Cam Todd link for his art into the chat real quick. I want to make sure we don't miss that.
Yeah, absolutely. Go check out Cam Todd art, dude. If you don't have a Cam Todd piece sitting right here on your wall, you are truly missing out.
You ain't shit. I've got a couple I want to show you real quick. I pulled a couple off his website while we're working. He does this fantastical. It's disc golf art in a big scene. It's fantastic. It's fun. It's funky. A lot of it's whimsical. Some of it's a little more realistic. It's awesome.
Most of the time, there will be a hidden basket in the art too.
A hidden basket, or maybe it's right there. I mean, sometimes it's right there in your face. So
right.
That was awesome. Thank you again to Cam Todd, guys. Go support Cam Todd if you can.
Thank you, Cody, for booking that. That was
Cody's deal. Thank you, Cody. We'll be back next week. I haven't got confirmation that the guest is confirmed. I think he is, but I don't want to tell anyone yet.
But stay tuned for him.
Right.
All right, y'all. Austin Lytle, y'all be good.
Bye-bye.
Next week.
Hey, it's Adam. Thanks for tuning into Frolfcenter. We'll see you next week. It's going to be a good time. Bye.
Shoppers, can I get a fucking oh yeah? Thank you.